This video covers OpusCapita support for direct materials. We are not an ERP, we are not an EAM system, but our vision of supporting direct materials is to be the commercial source of truth of agreements, and then support the direct materials process, be it inventory replenishment, be it EAM ordering, be it even services procurement using agreements, to be able to support the direct materials process by being able to provide pricing. What we're going to cover a couple of things here is we're going to demonstrate from a customer experience of how we actually support a maintenance depot being able to search for products by bills of materials and then finding the source of supply. And then we're just going to cover a general topic after that that's focused on what we're doing with Equinor. Okay, so the first use case here is Fedex, where we actually did a project with them to support procurement of spare parts within their maintenance depots, and they're focusing on mobile equipment, be it their fleet of delivery vans or the ground support equipment. So what we did is that we did a standalone application that integrated what's happening in their EAM system and being able to have a simple way for people to buy parts for an item. So in I'm going to look for an asset. Okay, so I'm going to search for a tug. I could have searched by a serial number here. So here I've found a specific asset. So when I look at this asset, this is data about a specific asset. The one that we see here is a specific asset number 12244, and it's a Stewart and Stevenson tug for pulling out things. What they have done is we have taken out of their EAM system the bill of material associated with the parts list for maintaining this. So here is the tug, and we're going to go and look, and you can see we've now got a bill of material for each of the systems within the tug to be able to go and describe things. So I'm working on the brake system. So here I can see a series of brakes parts for this item. And so at the moment, this is based on their internal bill of materials. And when I go and say find spare parts, what it's going out doing is it's going out and find the source of supply. So here I see two items that I can be in, one from the OEM, one from an aftermarket. In the case of Fedex, even though they've got a fleet that ranges 40 years, they have, they set up their contracts so that they have a filter contract, a brake and spares contract, etc. So they change those contracts periodically. And so if they change the filters, the tire contract from Dunlop to Firestone, all of this works in the background. They just update their agreements, and then the system takes them to the correct source of supply. So we add this item into the cart, and when we go to the cart, what we see is actually the supplier part that needs to be ordered. So what we've linked here is the ERP material item numbers and the bill of materials to the source of supply. Now, this is quite general in nature. So what we are doing now with, for instance, with Equinor, is that we are becoming the place where the commercial information associated with the ordering, and this can be ordering of parts from the EAM system in the case of Equinor, also services. instead of managing those agreements within SAP, and we are now managing those agreements within OpusCapita. And what we're doing differently is that we're not publishing the latest pricing to SAP. We're adjusting SAP so SAP when they generate a purchase order for a direct material against a material number, they come to us, or a service number, they come to us to get the current pricing. So throughout the process, the typical exit points where SAP would look internally for pricing, they now look to us for pricing. So we actually have become the pricing engine for a lot of the direct materials within the Equinor process. So again, we've now moved it where we become the source of the agreements and the pricing, and they come to us to get the price. And that is quite powerful in the sense that it stops a lot of integration work associated with the back-end ERP, and we can support all types of direct material purchases. In the case of Equinor, it's typically around the spare parts and the maintenance services associated with the work. So that's a new pricing thing. So we showed you in this thing the ability to go, and in the case of Fedex, being able to deal with assets and the maintenance bill of materials associated with assets, and then being able to take that item into a source of supply and be able to order the supplier part number. In addition to that, I've talked a bit about Equinor, where we become the commercial source of truth, and all the pricing is loaded into our systems, and SAP calls us to get the latest price of everything. Thank you.